All right. Hello, and we are live. So in this session, we're gonna go through and investigate a bug for my ActionbarPlus add-on. And the bug is, if you look at the description of this video, the bug is gonna be link. There's gonna be a link in the bug there. So this is my very first live streaming, so bear with me. I think I got OBS set up correctly, and we should be able to do this seamlessly. So let's get started. And to do that, I'm just going to log on in character here, and I've got, as we're logging in here on the right side of my screen, we've got a IntelliJ open. And also got my character placed in this is a low-level hunter. I've got it placed in the area where it's not too noisy. So about here, maybe right behind the shack here, so we're not really constantly interrupted by the NPC sounds. Also actually hearing some noise once in a while from the microphone, so I hope that doesn't happen too often. So basically, just gonna get started. I'm looking at the viewers here and there's no one here, but that's okay. It's my very first one. And so let's introduce the bug a little bit. Oh, here's a guy right there. Let's wave. All right. So after I released 2025 7.2 version last week, I've noticed that the alpha settings are broken. And what this add-on essentially will give you is that the ability to set the alpha. But in this scenario, it's actually not, it's actually setting it for all. So you can see it. You're supposed to be able to set this individually. Like 2 is supposed to be like, I can set it to 30, but in this scenario, it's all of the action bars are responding to it. I think I know where the issue is, but let's see. We'll just kind of assume, see everything's 100%. So when I set like for action bar 3, which is it's where action bar 3 is. Action bar 3 is not actually here. Let's do 2. This is 2 and this is 1. It's visible. Excuse me. I have a bit of a cold today, so I'm probably doing a lot more of clearing my throat here. So yeah, so like here, when I set this to 30, only this particular action bar should be set to the alpha settings, but it's setting all of them. So set this to like, see 100. See how this is also set to 100. Just gonna refresh here, see if it gives us a different. Doesn't seem like it. So, and we're streaming live. Welcome to the world. Right, so I have the dev suite all set up here. I also have an add-on to basically develop, and it's called dev suite. Got the console set here. I have a shortcut. If I go to options and dev suite for the plugins, see key bindings and a dev suite here. I basically have kind of tools here that will help me develop quicker. So I started building this up and then started kind of productizing it so I could publish it. But initially, it was just an internal tool for me. But toggle the debug console. So I created this debug chat frame add-on as well, which is just a library that will basically allow you, if you, this bottom left here, this is the standard, Warcraft console. And it's very limited as far as the history-wise, so you can't scroll up as far. And if I enable it, I have it toggle to command 1. Kind of see it here. And now it's more visible, got color coding, and I can basically scroll up as I get the buffer set pretty high. So, all right, so let me set this setting. So let's just figure out what the bug is. So in action, I'm just going to deal with action bar 1, for example. Once I set alpha here, it will actually fire a message, and there's a process subscribed to that message. And when it gets that message, it does set the alpha. It's supposed to set the alpha for that. So let's go ahead, look at settings here. And we're gonna go look at action bar. It's been a while, so to bear with me. Get out of distraction free mode so we can see basically, see if we got side gutter icon set. Sure, it's okay. So we do have that. Yeah. See, let's do a good. All right, so I'm gonna take a look at, let's see, that I look. And action bar. There's a action bar configs here. So basically create all these action bars that you're seeing on the left side. So here's the settings for them. These are all like ACE3 configs, so this is really nice. So I'm gonna go through and figure out message it is firing. So alpha updated. So what I'm gonna do is basically look at references in IntelliJ. Instead of hitting the shortcut, I'm just gonna go through the menu so we can see it. Find usages is what I'm talking about. There. Here's the settings controller. Here's the handler. So I have a logging mechanism here. So I'm just gonna say log called instance with params. So go frame index. I'm just gonna remove some of these settings here. Expand this a little bit. Here's the frame index. So I'm gonna remove this because we already know what that is. So this is a logging system that I created that makes it a little bit more efficient. Just basically providing a function so that the variables within it doesn't get evaluated. Makes it a lot faster. So it only evaluates when the logging is enabled. So add-on doesn't, or my add-on is performant. I guess that's what I was trying to say. So let's see. I do frame index here, and I'm just gonna basically, I'm gonna put an XX here so I can see it. So I'm just basically gonna refresh this, reload. You do a lot of reload when you're doing Warcraft development. So we get action bar 1, get alpha. So as soon as I set this, you should see that there, and frame index is 1. That's kind of nice. It's working as expected. And we're just gonna debug this. And make sure that we're getting the right alpha settings. So I'm looking at this piece of code here. Basically, we're getting the config, just in button. Okay, this is where the bug is. I think that's where I've changed it. So let's take a look at the history here. So we're gonna go git. Basically, we can do annotate with git blame. So I'm the only one. I'm the only developer on this one. So there's no one else to blame. There's no one else to blame but me. So, anyways, okay. So here we go. Can I expand this a little bit? And see what I did to break this baby. Just see like Command D for diff. Actually, you know what? Let's disable this. Let's just do compare selection. So this is, I like this one better. Oh, hey. There's a bit of a delay. There's a bit of a delay here on this live streaming, but I'm just going to go through IntelliJ expanding here. Just going to go through the local changes and figure out what in the world I added. So in this scenario here, I think this is supposed to be at the bar level. I'm not sure why I changed that. I made some refactors. Essentially broke a few things. Just going to go through the history and see what's going on. Let's scroll down faster here. I think in this case, so we're just gonna, so in this live stream, since it's my first one, I'm basically just gonna take a look at what's causing the issue. So when I'm looking at this code right here that you're seeing right here, what this is supposed to be is to update, excuse me. What this is supposed to do is update just the alpha for that particular bar, not everything. So this is what I'm seeing right here. When it goes through for each button, that's not good. So in this case, it should be just the frame itself. So let's take a look at what's available in this method. Let's do that, right? And then I'm just gonna go create. I totally love IntelliJ for this, and then buttons. It's not that one. Mess that up. Okay, something was not working. So just looking at the comments here, I had a Mark joining it, a viewer. So let's see. We're gonna do iterate for an integer, and that will be ignored. And this will be the button itself. This will be, oops, it's not tabbing correctly here, so I'm just gonna, okay. So let's just do another log here. And we're just gonna say button. And this button is supposed to be the button name, I believe. Just take a look at this table. It's the button UI. Rename. Right? And local, there's a button widget here that it's what I call button widget. Let's do button UI dot widget. I believe this is, it's not. So we'll hit this baby. This is actually not rotating. See where it says type right here? I'm using Emilua for this one. So let's see. All right. Ah, let's figure out what type this is. And let's reset let's reset the zoom. Actually the button frames that here's the code, not the buttons itself. Let's see. Just gonna quick test here. Just call it button, I guess, which is just the button itself, and the widget will be the rich should be a get name here. I have the log set up. I don't set up. Just set up the new. Just looking at something here. Just create the. That's what I need. Okay, I'm going back in history. And let's see. It should be set. And just going to iterate through and get some names here. Get some syntax errors. See what that is. .17, which is not the right. It's gonna refresh here. Reset. Refresh. Six. That's not it. introduce something here. Ah, there it is. He's just complaining about it. All right, so go back here. Just BW. Just do get name. Set that bug. And let's see, lip stub. Let's backtrack here. Still using errors. Ah, I introduced something. Just to press the button. Let's. Sometimes I'm pressing these keyboards too fast. There we go. I think we're all set. All right, so sorry for the sidetrack there. Let's screen up, maximize it. Reduce this a little bit. Just this. So we're basically just gonna see what's going on. So I put some logs. Gonna see just the button. So we are just going to set. I'm gonna comment this out because if this works, we're no longer need this. So we set alpha to be button alpha. Gonna this out. So if this, let's see if this fix works. So initially, I think my camera might have reset here. I have one of those cameras that are overheats no matter what I do. So let's try that again. Here we go. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is typically when you investigate a bug, fix is easy. So you may have a story that says investigate bug. And let's say you have it like as a, let's say you don't know what it is and you just kind of time box it to like 3 points. So as you're working on this bug and you're maybe just getting into it, and you catch the bug right away, and you catch the bug quicker than you expected, and it was pretty trivial. So the next stand up, you can basically, if you're working with teams, you can basically just kind of discuss with the team whether you should fix that bug right away. And also, if it's before stand up, you started working on it and you knew exactly what it was. So you have a story that's time boxed. You could basically just pull the team real quick, just huddle, tell them 5 to 10 minutes tops. Or you could just Slack it really in your team channel and just say, okay, this bug is pretty straightforward. I believe I have enough time to fix this without going over the time box estimate. So in that case, you get a green light for fixing that bug. All right. So if you have unit tests, you'd basically go in the unit tests and write the test first. This is very important, guys. Junior devs, this is very important. And if your senior's not doing this, give him a hard time. Definitely give him a hard time for not writing the test first. So write the test first if you can, if it's trivial, make it fail, then fix the bug. And that test should pass. Should be green. All right. But this case, this is a UI, and it's really hard to do it this way unless you have some robot tester that effectively works with, World of Warcraft. But in that case, you just go ahead and fix it. So here we are. I just applied the fix, and you can kind of see that it worked. I just refreshed, and each bar here in this window, let's set it up real quick. There you go. Make it larger. So you're going to see it. So after I refresh immediately, each of these bars have a settings, right? Immediately this thing just went to its alpha setting, which is 45. And this one's 100%. So you can kind of tell the difference. And immediately with this, with the fix that I made here, I'm confused with my key bindings here. Here at this, with the fix that I made and then refreshed, immediately I can see in the screen here that essentially it fixed that bug. But there's more testing to do, right? So I'm just going to test it out here. I'm just going to lower this configuration here and make sure that when I lower this alpha, we're just seeing the alpha settings for action bar 1 trigger. So here we go. It's going to call that method. You can see the logging here. You see it? You see that? That baby is fixed. And we can even kind of make it bigger here so we can see it, right? See that baby? Oh yeah, that's right. Alpha is fixed. Well, I broke it anyway, so no glory in that. But anyways, so then we do an alpha 2. So that's basically how it's set. And you got that. So without further ado, this is basically what it's like. This is basically what it's like to work on a World of Warcraft add-on. And I'm a gamer, so it's totally fun. I get to kind of play a little bit. Sometimes I like just playing, and sometimes I like to code and play a little bit. In this case, it's really straightforward bug fix. And I'm not going to do the whole thing in this live stream, but I'll post this recording anyways. And if you have any questions about dev in general, agile, not agile, whatever, or if you have any questions about programming, you just let me know. And also the source code for this is open source, not open source, but it's out on GitHub, and you can basically install this thing in your, locally and play around with it. It's essentially, or you could even write an add-on that enhances this particular add-on. I'm totally up for that if you're willing, but this is fun. If you're a gamer and you're a coder, World of Warcraft is basically, that's messaging, basically a thing to do. And also I have several add-ons. This one right here is add-on usage. I didn't create it, but it's very handy. I'm just going to introduce to the coding tools that I'm using. And I also created an add-on suite, which basically allows me to have a portfolio of add-ons that I need enabled. Like in this case, if you click in here, I have for ActionbarPlus when I'm developing, I can easily switch. And if I'm questing or just, any customized collection of add-ons I want enabled, I could just basically do it here. And it's a very handy tool. Excuse me for a bit. Like I said, I have a cold, and let's see. Just checking some things here. So basically, that's what I do to develop, and also have the dev suite that's also published. And essentially, it just allows me to do a lot of shortcuts. Basically, I have a lot of shortcuts for for a lot of the dev key bindings that you use. Like for instance, to get details on mouse over, to toggle window mode, to get the frame stack. Frame stacks are pretty handy if you're debugging. So, oops. Just press the wrong button there. Hopefully it's still streaming. See what the streaming health looks like. Stream is healthy. Nice. Very nice. Okay. All right. Stream is healthy. And what I was showing you was the key bindings. Let's go back here real quick. F16. Yeah, okay. So frame stack, you can basically type as fstack, right? But I have that a key binding for that. You can basically just kind of toggle whatever key bind you have and inspect any UI frame here. See that? Look at ActionbarPlus. It's a very handy tool. So there's more options here. Key bindings. Yeah, window mode. We got clear debug console and toggle. So you can clear it. I have it key binded to Command F1. You can clear that. Also, I can toggle the debug console. If you want the standard Blizzard. And so there's, and I'll add more to that as well. And also the other thing too is you kind of see we got what you call a mini icon here on the mini map. This is called the mini top right here. You guys aren't seeing it, so let me show you here. There we go. And the mini map on the top here. Here's the mini map icon. So I have a feature work to basically add minimap icons here for ActionbarPlus. So that should make it easier to configure, work with this add-on as well. But once you have it enabled, it's pretty straightforward. Nothing to it. So that is basically it. So this is my first streaming, and if you like it, stream's current bit rate is lower. Okay, I'm getting a warning here. Just reading the warning on my screen. Recommended bit rate. Okay, it's supposed to be 13,000. Well, that's going to be interesting. I'll try that next time. I have that bit rate set to 6,000 kbps because I was getting delays. So we'll see. Next time I'll set it to 13,000. See how that works. But thank you guys. Thank you guys, people. Thanks everyone for joining me in this, or joining or not joining me in this, but hopefully you'll be able to see this entire streaming, the recording of the stream anyway, this live stream. So hopefully I'll be able to do more of this in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.